make sense of all of this. Journalist Charles Ideho is here, as well as leadership and communication strategist Dr. John. Gentlemen, good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Yes,
right. Let's begin with the Daily Sun. Daily Sun is where we start from this morning. As PDP Atiku open case at tribunal, fireworks. We transmitted results to INEC server, say presiding officer, technician. Buhari's lawyers reject president's biodata form, accuse Galadima of fighting for personal gains. This issue is getting deeper and getting even more controversial. Let's move now to The Nation. The Nation newspaper says that Oba of Lagos, Obasanjo, is problem with Nigeria. Governors Tinubu, Kingibe, others call for national unity at Oshoba's 80th birthday. Okay, he also launched a book titled The Battle Lines alongside. All right, moving on from there now, the Vanguard is where we go next. Presidential tussle. We send poll results to INEC server. Staff is revealing that. That's a staff of INEC is revealing that. I signed results sheet under duress. Witness is saying this. Why I dumped Buhari for Atiku by Buba Galadima. The issues are still on. Ripples of the past. Okay. Let's move now to Daily Trust. Daily Trust says multinational threatens local poultry farmers. Okay, multinational threatens local poultry farmers. That's in agriculture. We'll look at that as we get along. Now, Blueprint. Let's go to Blueprint now. Zamfara Algon rejects 5 million naira per local government June allocation. Okay, says no to joint account. I will take legal action. The state government is saying that. Okay, the issues are still on from the local government and states. The last now is the News Direct, Nigeria News Direct, and it says that new NNPC GMD Carey vows to end fuel importation, to rehabilitate NNPC refineries, backs private investments in refineries as Baru bow out in style. Okay, I think that is where we are going to start from this morning. Gentlemen, since the last few decades, every new GMD that we have makes promises to ensuring that all the refineries are working, promises, and some of them promise end to subsidies, some of them make different promises as the case may be. We have a new kid on the block right now. Mekanti Baru has bowed out, handed over to Mele Carey, and he is making the same promises. Nigerians are saying, okay, yes, but what is new about these promises? Let me start with you, Charles, on this.
Well, it's not really the NNPC. I think it's something that has come to stay with us. You bring in a new IG, he starts talking tough. A new governor comes in, is inaugurated, he starts talking tough. A new president also starts talking tough. You remember the body language of our president when he said he was going to do that? So I think it's become a part of our national life and a part of our administrative life, which of course I think we need to divorce from that, because you need to settle down first of all. For instance, the Carey that is talking, he may have good intentions. But you see, the thing is that he doesn't know the interplay of power, the power interplay within the organization.
Well, he has been within the system.
No, what I'm saying. But not as the head. Not as the head. Because there's a difference between when you are superintending over a section of a bigger picture and then when you are not superintending over a whole picture. Okay? I mean, there was time, some of us who were line editors in those days, during the print days, when I was in the print, what I was controlling was from when I became an editor. So it was when I got there and I saw the actual...
The dynamics
of the whole thing.
All right.
So I think you should settle down, promise less and deliver more. Rather than promise more.
Maybe these are some of his vision. Now, of course. To the point there is, certainly any new person that... You remember in 2015 when the president came on board, Nigerians were saying, let us know let us be able to hold you on something, so that you have made promises, general promises, but we want to hold you by, the real thing.
Specific ones.
And the point there is that new GMD is making promises. Maybe that's part of his vision, isn't it?
You know, I want us to be optimistic this morning,
Okay.
because we really have every reason to doubt, considering our history and the way politicians and some of these technocrats actually behave. If you look at NNPC, for example, in 2017, the refining capacity of all our refineries is put at less than 9%. That's scary. That's after the fact that we produce about 2.5 barrels per day.
Which never increases.
Yes, and if you look at all the capacity, if they are functioning in full capacity, it's even less than 500,000 capacity. So for you to take it from 8 or 9% capacity to a full capacity is a whole lot of work. But I don't want to doubt that fact. But again, there are some of the specifics that I think we should pay attention to, apart from the fact that we want to make refineries work, because that is not going to totally take our woes away. The second thing is that the transparency of NNPC actually is a major issue, because either we will like it or not, even if all the refineries are functioning at total capacity, and we have even a Dangote refinery, you discover that Dangote refinery is also going to refine about, in full capacity, it's also going to refine about 650,000 barrels per day. If you put all these figures together, we are still going to have over 1 million barrels per day to cater for what we produce as far as crude is concerned. So when you look at all these things, either we like it or not, either the refineries are working, there will still be a gap that somehow must be filled. How transparent will NNPC be at that point? So that's my major concern. I want to believe him. If he thinks he can do it, why not? We'll give him all the support.
Okay.
But again, we wait to see. We wait
But
to see.
again, when you say but again, I guess everything...
You don't want to doubt.
That thing is pregnant with a lot of things. But the point there is, Charles, the issue there is, actually, when you look at the profile of the new GMD of NNPC, no one has a doubt that he has been in the system, he understands the system, he's a professional to the core, he has a network across the world, he has what it takes to actually make NNPC work. Now, talking about the system itself, like you were saying earlier on, what should really be put in place for him to work, really?
Well, first of all, in Nigeria, we were so blessed with human capacity. Yes. We're not lacking in profile. Okay, if you ask Dotun to bring his CV now, it will be so intimidating.
Yes.
So
but maybe we are lacking in performance.
No, apart from performance, you see, there are some built-in mechanisms that are antithetical to growth in anything you want to do in Nigeria, apart from the private sector. Okay. Now, first of all, NNPC, we have to first of all look at don't you talk about what they produce every day? 2.5. It has remained 2.5. It doesn't go down. The question you have to ask is that why do we have to be fixated on a particular figure on a daily basis? That's number one. Because even the JVC itself, there's that agreement of also is shrouded in
Joint
secrecy.
venture.
It's shrouded in secrecy, except you blow open the secrecy. Or whatever NNPC is going to do, whoever is going to come there, no matter how intimidating the profile or the CV, once he gets there, there are the powers that be, the be-all and end-all in the industry that will not let the
all right.
function.
But in all of those, nobody would doubt the fact that it is also what the president of the day wants.
Yes, that's where I was.
He has the powers and all of that. But let's leave it here.
Has he activated the power?
We have to leave it here now.
All right, we start with the Daily Sun, and on the front page here we have as PDP article open case at tribunal, fireworks. So we transmitted results to INEC server, says presiding officer, technician. Buhari's lawyers reject president's biodata form, accuse Galadima of fighting for personal gains. To the front page of The Nation, Oba of Lagos, Obasanjo is a problem with Nigeria. Governors Tinubu, Kingibe, others call for national unity at Oshoba's 80th birthday. On the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, presidential tussle, recent poll results to INEC server staff. I signed result sheet under duress, witness wire dumped Buhari for Atiku by Buba Galadima. And on the front page of the Daily Trust, multinational threatens local poultry farmers. To the front page of Blueprint, Zamfara Algon rejects 5 million naira per local government June allocation, says no to joint account. will take legal action state government. We'll be looking at that shortly. And finally, on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct, new NNPC GMD Kyari vows to end fuel importation to rehabilitate NNPC refineries, backs private investment in refineries as Baru bows out in style. All right, gentlemen, we will be looking at the story on the front page of the Blueprint. Zamfara Algon, that's the Association of Local Governments, rejecting 5 million naira per local government June allocation. And this has to do with the local government financial autonomy that the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit talked about or looked at in May. And they said they were going to monitor from June the 1st to see how states comply. And we are seeing here now that Zamfara Association of Local Government is rejecting the 5 million naira per local government June allocation. Are we beginning to see reactions there from local governments? Charles?
Yes, I think it's gladdening to see that for the very first time, a body that became lame duck, so to speak, it's now emboldened. I mean, before now, You
rarely saw them on the news?
Argon, say it again.
You rarely found them on the news?
Yes, before now. I mean, I can't recall the last time I ever heard Argon in the news. But I think being emboldened, and they need to take it beyond this point. And I also want to appeal to other Argons across the nation so that they can also come up with this. If we have this grandstanding, we have, I call it grandstanding, okay, not grandstanding. If you have this, all of them coming together to form that body, they are Argon is supposed to be all over Nigeria. So if they come up to form that national body to actually tell the state governors or state government to say no, at least if we are independent, independence not just on paper, but independence in action as well. And I also look at why would the state also, okay, if you say on the one hand, Dotun, that state from now on are going to be having their allocation directly to them. Yes. So I still wonder why the state government will still have that power. Access to start access the fund, to now start be allocating money for that. So
the structures or the framework for this to be effective was not put in place.
If you don't allow the local government to function, that's why the people keep suffering, because local government was created as this third tier to ensure you bring governance to the barest minimum, to the everyday people. For instance, people who are in the villages or so. Because in Lagos now, let me even talk about Edo, where I come from. Somebody who is living in Nauchi or Agenebo is far flung from Benin City. Okay, so for you, if you don't have that direct access to Benin, you have a government you can call upon very close to you that you can look up to. But it's not happening.
It seems the governors do not want to let them go. They still want them tied to their apron strings, because when this happened, NFIU came up with this directive. We had about 2 court orders.
You see, I hate directive without direction, and this is one of them. You cannot think that you want to empower the local government economically without empowering them politically. And this is what I mean. You can't say that a local government chairman or caretaker committee chairman who was appointed by the governor will have the audacity to actually contest whatever the governor says. So we must lay a political foundation and start from election. First, we must make it a law. It's an existing law to have local government election after 3 years. Now, instead of having the state CIEC or INEC or state this thing to conduct it, maybe we transfer it to the federal INEC, and we know that after 3 years, we have local government election. So when you have local government election, for example, maybe in Lagos, and we have a PDP chairman here and there, then it's going to be practically impossible for the governor to say they want to have a joint account where they will withhold their money. These are some of the intricacies. Then, governors who had gone ahead to create local government development authorities, we never allow these things to work out. For example, if you have 20 local government, like in some state, and you have 30 local government development areas, how do you fund the local government development areas when the authentic local government have their direct allocation from the federal government? That's where all these issues are coming from. So when allocation comes from Abuja, it goes to the joint account, and the governor decides whatever he wants to do. And they have not been talking over time, because I have a situation, I was telling you a situation where a governor told them that, okay, I am giving all of you 1 million naira security vote. So when they collect the 1 million naira security vote, and they are able to pay their salary, the governor can take the remaining. So that's what they do over time. Because they are appointees of government, of the state governor, they cannot contest whatever the state governor says. So this economic directive that we have given is not going to work out until we lay a political foundation that allows election to be held after 3 years, like we have it in the Constitution, and we have local government chairmen that are elected by the people. So when we have an APC governor, we can have an ADC local government chairman, and they can look straight to the governor because they are backed by the Constitution.
But there's still also good, because they tie to what he said. I think there are booby traps here. Even you come to Lagos, for instance. Lagos, constitutionally, you have 20 local government. That is what they captured in a constitution. Right. But Lagos, they created about 37 other SCDAs he talked about. Now, the question, where I talked about the booby, the question is that if the allocation comes in from the federal account direct to the 20 local government. So what happens to the funding of the 37? Because if, for instance, you are saying what even comes to me was not even enough before, and the federal government, the state government was giving up pretenses, then you are now expected. How do you now share when the law does not require you to share? So I still have you still have a problem. So I think we need to really sit down to actually work out some of these things. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Daily Sun. Daily Sun is where we go first this morning. Let's see. As PDP Atiku opened case at tribunal, fireworks. We transmitted results to INEC server, say presiding officer, a technician. Buhari's lawyers reject president's biodata form, accuse Galadima of fighting for personal gains. Oh, those are some of the stories you're going to see on the front page of the Daily Sun this morning. Let's go now to The Nation. The Nation newspaper is next. Oba of Lagos, Obasanjo is a problem with Nigeria, and governors Tinubu, Kingibe, others call for a national unity at Oshoba's 80th birthday. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of The Nation. The Vanguard is our next
what's that?
Next paper now. Presidential tussle. We sent poll results to INEC server. INEC staff is saying that I signed results sheet under duress. There's a witness saying that wire dumped Buhari for Atiku by Buba Galadima. You'll find all the details in the Vanguard. Daily Trust is where we go next. Daily Trust is saying multinational threatens local poultry farmers. Multinational threatens local poultry farmers. Okay, let's go now from there to Blueprint. Federal Allocation Accounts Committee, or Federal Accounts Allocation Committee, Zamfara Algon rejects a 5 million naira per local government June allocation. Says no to joint account. Will take legal action. State government, the Zamfara state government is saying that. So it seems to be a tussle between the state and the local government. That's the second and the third tier of government there. The last paper we see this morning is the Nigerian News Direct. The News Direct is saying that new NNPC GMD carry vows to end fuel importation, to rehabilitate NNPC refineries and backs private investments in refineries as Baru bows out in style. Okay, you find that on the front page of the News Direct. Now, gentlemen, we see Daily Sun as well as Vanguard has this controversial, if I must say, if I put it that way, the issue of the INEC server. Does the server exist? No. Does the server exist? Yes. You know, we've heard this from both sides, you know, from the AP, what is it called? Sorry. INEC on one hand, and the PDP as well as former Vice President Atiku on the other hand. Now, I wonder why this controversy is on, whether there was a server or there was no server, because things are at the tribunal level right now. Dr. Let me start with you on this.
Okay. The essence of the tribunal is actually to prove a point, whether one person has actually won election or perhaps whether the other person lost. And you hold on to everything to actually prove that point. It's always very difficult in Nigeria to prove the case of fraud during election because of our peculiarities and our law here and there. But again, if you look at the entire process very carefully, legally, I'm not sure that legally maybe we are ripe, or legally perhaps we do not have the right to go e-voting, but there's nowhere where the law actually talked about e-compilation of result. And if you look at some of these things, really, you know that in a complex nation like Nigeria, I doubt whether you can organize an election without having a server. Personally, I doubt. So when you look at it, we'll just leave it at the level of tribunal and be looking at how things will play out. Yeah.
Okay, Charles, the issue, the transmission of results electronically was not recognized by law in the last election, in this last election.
Yes.
You know, so based on that, whether INEC had its internal arrangement to see how we can test run some things, and it was test run or not, it's not for us to say that right now. But their words against each other. There was a server, no, there was no server. There was a server, no, there was no server. What do you make of this?
I think that is the problem we're having most of this, particularly government organizations, where they actually don't know when to speak. Even when they speak, they don't speak what is right. Sometimes even the people appointed to speak for them, they also speak inappropriately. The issue of server, as Dr. just made something very, very valid. Yes, the server actually exists, but it was not used in electronically collecting results. Okay. That would have served the better chance for INEC to get out of that quagmire. But INEC is saying there's no server, but there's an existence of server. You know why? By the very moment you deployed electronic capturing of fingerprints, because there's a little chip on that card where your data is stored, and then by the time you say, okay, when you were at the polling booth, your fingerprint was captured. What did they do with it? Okay, so where did they go? So those things they don't exist on their own individually. There's a pool where most information are stored, where you can retrieve them, and that is the server. So INEC can say they don't have a server when they have those devices.
But in this case, the concept of accrediting whether you actually qualify to vote is different from the process where you voted and
it was captured.
We are talking of the server that voting went into to know, okay, this person voted for this political party or this person voted for the other political party.
That may not be true in this case.
Okay.
Because, as you said, it's something captured in our law status books that we have to electronically vote and electronically collect results. What that serves to do is that INEC is trying to build a database where we know exactly in Ondo, in Edo, in Lagos, we have so X number of registered voters and captured with their data, with their fingerprint and all of that. So that's stored, but they've not been used for the purposes of voting and getting the actual figure of that. So that's where exactly INEC can run away.
Then again, the simple question is this. If I am perhaps in a polling unit, I'm the INEC official there, if so party records so number of votes, do I send it to the state headquarters? If yes, it is electronic sending. Because I am going to send it either using a phone or anything,
any device
to the state headquarters. Now, when I send it to the state headquarters,
after announcing
at the
polling
unit,
unit,
do they use their hand to write it down, or they also push it somewhere? These are some of the things. It may not be in the law, but it's in logic.
All right. Finally, as it is right now, the issue of communication also is key and central here.
Exactly.
The way, when an allegation is leveled against you, the way you go about, either, proving yourself innocent, what you say, how you say it, all matters. And all of these things.
And in this government, honestly, I think, I made mention of this thing during the period of Ruga. Communication has been a major issue. Okay. Communicating well. And when you want to communicate, it starts with the language. The language is not just what I'm saying. It is what the people will be able to relate with.
The tone, the choice of words.
In language, there's encoding and decoding. So if you don't encode your message,
in a way that will be decoded very appropriately.
You go encode something and then somebody decode it separately. Then the message is lost. So I think the government has to do a lot about this information management. It's key.
Very essential. All right, Charles Ideho, thank you very much for coming on the program. Thank you very much, Dr. John.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Right. You're watching TVC Breakfast, and we're streaming live on YouTube. You can also connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag TVC Breakfast.